Today's an exciting day for me. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. I get to be with Francie Zwicker, and I love that because at least in much of the world, it's you and Jason, who I'll be doing Jason sometime too. Amazing. But I love that I've got you here, just you here, because you're extraordinary on many levels. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you for having
to be
me
here. It's this is going to be a lot of fun. You're wonderfully mysterious, and so you're like an onion that the more you know, you do that. Oh, you're good at that. You're like layers, and I'm excited because it's mysterious to sort of unveil some of the mystery. But we're going to start with young Francie. Like, we're going to start with the kid and the parents and the influences and the environment that initially wired and shaped who you are. Talk to me about that, Francie. Thanks for being here. This will be fun.
I am very excited to share my story.
I love it.
I think everyone has an amazing story if you're willing to tell it. Yeah. I've actually never told a full story of my life.
Oh, wow.
Definitely recorded. So this is a new one for me. But as I was thinking through it, I had forgotten a lot of the things. So I am the firstborn daughter of two girls. My dad was a dreamer. He was an entrepreneur. He took a lot of risks. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, very creative, just loving. She lives with me now. My dad passed away in 2000 from cancer.
Oh, wow.
But
how old was your dad?
He was 47.
Oh.
Yeah. As of last year, or as of January, I have outlived him. So
in 2000, okay, I'm not trying to reverse engineer your age, but you were what?
I was 22.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And losing your dad at 22.
Yep.
Okay. All right. We'll maybe circle back to that because that's a game changer.
It was.
Yeah.
But without it, I wouldn't be who I am today. So,
wow.
I believe there's a reason for everything that happens.
Yeah.
And I've made peace with losing him because I think he may have made a deal with God.
Huh.
Come with me and your children will be.
Wow.
So I've made peace with it.
And you are the oldest.
I am.
Okay. So you are the oldest of two.
Yes.
And a younger sister. Mm-hmm. How much younger?
3 years.
3 years
3
younger.
years. And if you actually met her, you would think, are they actually related? Because we are polar opposites, but we're the best of friends also. We get along, we fight, typical sisters, but very different when it comes to personality. My dad started and failed a lot of businesses. My mom supported him through all of it. I think through watching him do that, she really wanted us to be very independent and instilled this, don't just be a stay-at-home wife, do the things, make your own money, because I think her creativity and her passions weren't lived all the way through maybe. So she instilled a lot of that to us, almost to a detriment in certain aspects, but we can also expand on that. My father came from a very military family. So my grandfather on my paternal side, he was a colonel in the Korean Army. He was a warden of the Army prison system. He was really highly ranked. He could go a day without a clock. That man was get up at the same time, eat breakfast at the same time, leaves the house at the same time, comes home at the same time. Just very regimented. My mom's father, so my maternal grandfather, he was, during the Japanese occupation, he was a huge independence activist. He was a congressman at one point, went to jail a bunch of times. He was a journalist, and he had his own magazine. And he was mysteriously killed. Yeah. And we actually, none of the grandkids ever met him.
Wow.
Yeah. He went on a hike. They said he misstepped and fell off a cliff. But There are no signs of any struggle of trying to grasp anything. It's still an open case, but they believe the Korean government at the time had him killed because of his activism.
Oh my gosh!
So a lot of grief, but a lot of pride. I was raised with, be proud of your name, be proud of your bloodline, be proud of what your family has accomplished. Along that same line, speak the truth, stand up for what we believe in, work hard for what you want. And then we moved to the U.S.
And how old were you? Were you born in the U.S.?
No. I was born in Korea, Seoul, Korea. I was raised there till I was 10.
Till 10.
Moved to
your
Singapore.
sister was just 6 years old. Yeah. Wow.
Moved to Singapore. But Singapore is impossible to just stay in. It's a tiny little island. They're very strict on allowing people to become permanent residents. So we were there for about 2.5 years, and then we moved to the U.S. And it was because of my dad's dreams. I mean, he had a dream of starting this big travel agency in the U.S. and, making it super successful. It wasn't successful. He failed a lot. And then he got sick, had a heart attack. With the heart attack, we found cancer in his lungs. And then they gave him 6 months, but he lived 2 years. Those were actually one of the best 2 years that I had with him. But it metastasized to his brain, and he died at home.
I'm so sorry to hear about that death, but you said something that I want you to expound on, that those 2 years were some of the best. Was it the awareness of this is a terminal problem and we've got to lean into the time we have? Was it that kind of thing?
Yep.
And how did that play itself out? What kinds of things did you do? Or was it doing? Was it just being and talking? And tell me a little bit about what made that a great thing. The phrase "live like you were dying" comes to mind. Well, he was dying. And so how did he conduct himself? How did you connect with that?
Culturally, men are not taught to be expressive, right? I don't think I heard him tell me he loves me verbally, right? He showed it in so many different ways. You just had to learn how to, hear it in other ways. But the words "I love you" didn't come out of his mouth very easily because it's not something that he was taught to say as a male figure. But he was very expressive. He was one of those people that were funny. People just gravitated towards him. Very, very charismatic. But when he was home, he was dad, and he was very authoritative and, of two girls, right? Wanted to keep us in line, make sure we were taken care of. But once he got sick, he opened up. And, during chemo, he was sick. We were home a lot. The stories that he told us of his childhood, the stories of, what he learned and lessons he wanted me to know as I went into adulthood without him, right? Because he knew. The hardest thing that I still think about is he apologized to me for not being able to walk me down the aisle. So almost closing different doors that were open. And I mean, you said live like you're dying. That's kind of how I live my life every day. When you encounter death so early and realize that you really aren't promised anything.
No.
And I know people are very uncomfortable with the concept of death. I think about death all the time. Like, is today my last day? I don't know. Maybe a therapist will say it's unhealthy, but I really do prioritize my days, my life, as if I'm dying, because we all are. I mean, whether we want to admit it or not.
And the reality is that we think we're in control of tomorrow, the next week. Here's how it's going to go. We make all our plans. We write down all our appointments and this, that. But that kind of control is really just an illusion. It's a hopeful suggestion of what we're doing, but ultimately we're not in control. And that that awareness, I think, is what yields to better choices, perhaps, or more important choices.
More important choices.
Yeah.
What would you do if this was your last day?
If this was it, what would you do? Would you, and I think it's a healthy thing, to think that. And maybe in the bucket of regret, looking back, you think, oh, wow, I didn't think that way in this situation. And I wouldn't have made that choice because it was time and energy spent that didn't have any substance, didn't have any meaning. It just kind of went. Ugh, nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that explains already. See, I'm in a hunt for puzzle pieces of you. The word intentionality is just written on you everywhere. Every chemical I see or learn about, I go, wow, this is just specific. You know what you're trying to do here. But maybe, as you said, some of the gift of that tragedy was creating that ultra focus in you. I could see where that would really connect.
Yeah, and trying everything, right? Yeah. Just living. I said my dad was a dreamer. I mean, he loved photography. And he used to always take pictures of everything. The stereotypical Asian tourist with a giant camera around his neck, that was my dad, but it was all the time. I mean, we have so many photos of us, right? Photos of everything. We don't have a lot of photos of him because he was always behind the camera.
The one taking the pictures.
Yeah, but he was hired as a photographer for the National Geographic.
Wow.
And went to Kenya for a whole month.
Oh my gosh.
As like a junior photographer, so yes, he was a father. Yes, he was a provider. Yes, he was a husband, but he also had these dreams that he always followed. And I really believe in his short 47 years, he did a lot of things that most people didn't do. And if you don't live your life that way, I mean...
Right. Life in your years, not years in your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's... I don't know. I find great challenge in that. That's a positive challenge to the unforgiving minute, right? That concept has drawn me for a long time.
And when I heard you speak for the first time, a lot of the things that my dad taught us, the things that I learned through his illness and his death and his life, it was, you touched on so many of those things. And I think that's why I was so drawn to Power Players and what you had to say, right? It wasn't just about, real estate investing and strategies, that wasn't what attracted me to you. It was your outlook in life, right? It was the quotes that you used. It hit me right here because it reminded me of how I try and live.
Because it connected with something you've lived. And that, that's, and so tying words to an experience that helps explain that experience, that's the way things really connect. If it's just words without an experience or meaning, it's just words. But you've lived it. Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Wow. I want to go back to your sister. You say that you're so different. Same dad, same mom, same environment. How does that happen?
She's like my mom. I'm more like my dad. I used to always joke and say, we were just, it was like a team, right? And I lost my teammate pretty early. But they are so similar in their... my sister is a stay-at-home mom. She's happy being a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't want to, she doesn't want all these extraordinary things, and not in a bad way. I've never met anyone more just content and happy with life, just as it is.
Right.
I have a tendency to continuously want more. I want more. I want to learn more. I want to be more. And it's a constant battle, right? And sometimes I wish I can be as content. But I always say you are the way you are because I am the way I am, right? This controlling, like, we got to do this, and then she just kind of sat back and, okay.
Right.
So Very, very different.
You know, I remember a big discussion of being irritated. It was actually coming out of a church service, irritated with the sermon, as it were, had to do with being content. And we should just be content, almost like be thankful for what you have and don't want for more. And it really bugged me. And it turned into a big discussion, and it led to kind of me trying to understand more what is this content thing, and it meant sort of dividing it from an internal sort of peace of a peaceful contentedness and an outward I should just sit and do nothing conflict that I had in my mind, that they're different things. And so I remember really having to work through and being reconciled. Like, that word just bugs the shit out of me. I'm not content. I don't want to be content. It sounds like complacent or like I've given up, you know. But I think that maybe, you know, the peace that you talked about that your younger sister has is a type of contentedness.
Yes.
And I don't think that means that you don't have that peace. But there's a different drive. There's a different desire to grow, learn, experience, etc. That's just a difference in you. It's really weird how a word can hit a button.
Yes.
And it's not a good button. When I hear that word, I'm immediately in judgment mode. You're what? You know?
Well, maybe we can use the word peace. At peace rather than...
Yeah.
Because being driven isn't necessarily a negative thing.
No.
But I think there's negative connotations. I mean, you can be so driven, you can actually do yourself a disservice, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, Martin in an earlier conversation talked about, you know, the being driven can become like almost like a drug of choice, and you can lose your mind and not see the bigger picture of, you know, your focus can be great, and it can also be a hindrance if it's out of some sort of awareness calm, right?
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. So young Francie, talk to me about school years and up through high school, and what was developing in you? What was becoming you? What did you notice about you that was different? Because you're just really different. You are. And everybody that gets to know you, and they go, wow, you have no idea. She's just really different. When did you kind of claim yourself?
I was very rebellious. Very rebellious. And I'm scared that one of my daughters are going to be the same way when she turns 16. But I was very rebellious. I used to butt heads with my dad all the time. But I did well in school. I just naturally, I did well. I didn't have to try that hard. According to my mom, I had one of the highest IQs in my second grade class, supposedly. So things, you know, studying came easy. Things like that came easy. I didn't have to struggle in school, but I did rebel. I did bad things, hung out with bad kids. And then I got my senses knocked into me because a bunch of friends decided they wanted to go shoplifting at Target. And that was it for me. But I got in trouble because I was with them. But they couldn't find anything on me, so I didn't actually get arrested, right? But I was like, okay, this is a wake-up call. I need to stop doing what I'm doing. You know, being rebellious has consequences, and I don't want what they just got.
Gotta get back in the lane here a little. Right.
I went to UW. I grew up in Issaquah. Went to UW. I majored in English. I was always fascinated with literature. Writing was always my outlet. Wanted to be a lawyer. I had my head set on becoming
a liberal art passion leads to being a lawyer.
Corporate lawyer. I wanted to write, you know, contracts. And maybe if I wanted to get a little fancy, maybe I would get into like entertainment law, right? With different contracts, sports contracts or whatever. That's kind of where my head was at. My dad got sick when I was a freshman and at UW. And I knew there was no way I could go on to grad school. So that dream kind of got put aside and just...
Not too late.
No, but it's not appealing to me anymore. I think part of the law degree thing was the immigrant parent desires and dreams that was being fed into me, like doctor, lawyer, dentist, the something. It doesn't interest me anymore. But that's what I thought I wanted at 20, 18, 19.
And did you live on campus? Did you live at home?
My dad was sick, so we would all take turns being home with him. My mom had to work. She had to get a job because my dad was the sole breadwinner. Once he got sick and he couldn't work anymore, she had to get a job. So she would go to work. My sister and I would schedule our classes so that one of us were home at any given time. So we just took the bus to school.
Worked it out.
Yeah.
Wow. And so an English degree, and of course, I'm fast forwarding, but you take it from an English degree and now you crunch numbers for a living. This is sort of shows the confusion of Francie Zwicker.
Yes.
It's like you've got this extreme creative right brain, but crunching numbers, loans, deal structuring, this is sort of also in part what you're known for, in part. This is the confusing thing, is that people have a dominant side. It doesn't feel to me like you do. And that's really interesting.
I think creativity is the easier part for me. The number crunching is the harder part. That's the part that I have to really try hard on. I have to learn, focus. I love it because that black and white, I guess the black and white side of things I do enjoy, because creativity is never one or the other, right? So it's creativity is easier. The number crunching is harder. Jason is definitely better at numbers. I'm just better at keeping record of those numbers. So, yeah.
And so you brought up Jason, and you both are known professionally in the world of finance, loans, mortgage, conventional, non-conventional lending world. Do you work in tandem? Do you work independent of one another? Do you work on projects together for clients?
Depends on the client, but he does refer me a lot of business. He hands off, because he's builder financing. So he would have builders that are building out big units or townhouses or a community. And sometimes they want to keep a few of them for themselves as a rental portfolio. Then he'll send them to me and I would get them into a traditional financing while they sell, a number that they had set aside. I have a few clients that he's referred over, and that's how we work. I try and send him business, but honestly, he sends me more business than the other way around.
And when a builder builds out, let's say, a housing development, and he provides the construction financing on that, does he ever work into his contracts that, by the way, the preferred lender for the clients buying these homes needs to be Francie?
No, he doesn't. But he has created meetings, right? I would tag along with, builder meetings or whatnot. And I have gotten to be the preferred lender for a couple of those builders. But he doesn't force them to do it. I just have to charm them, I guess. It doesn't always work, but I've gotten a few of them.
Wow. And so this drive in your business, did this come? I mean, there's always a story behind that. You talked about the creating independent people was a real focus. Is that a belief system of yours, or is it just your own choice for yourself? Do you feel like, as a whole, I know this is a big topic, but do you feel that women as a whole should make their own money, should have their own financial independence, should pursue a career as well as, is that your personal preference, or do you think that's a bigger statement? I see who you hang with, and they're driven professional women who also, like you, we haven't even gotten into the family side yet, because how you do it all, I have no idea. But you have this career, but you're obviously married, and you have kids that take a huge bit of your heart and effort and everything. How do you do it all is the next question. But let's go back to this. Do you feel that equips you in a better way for life to have that independence?
If in a traditional sense, I think becoming a career-driven woman who also has a marriage, which is a lot of work, children, a lot of work. And I mean, something's got to give, right? We all only have 24 hours in a day. Am I going to be the absolute top producer and also the best mom that's at every softball game, every jiu-jitsu tournament? No, I'm not. Am I going to have, am I going to be booking $20 million a month in loans, having client meetings, agent meetings, all the things, and be able to put dinner on the table every night that's made from scratch? No, because I only have 24 hours in a day. Something's got to give. Do I do it all? Yes, I do try and do it all. Don't get me wrong. There are days when we do take out because mom's done cooking, right? Mom is tired, had a long day. But I always say I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. Right? I can dabble and do well enough in a lot of things. But I am not the top. I don't want to be the top producer in my company. I've got phenomenal loan officers around me. I respect them. They're amazing. But they look at me and go, how do you do that? Well, right. Because I don't book as many loans as you. I have more time, right? So yes, independence I think is important. But personal belief, I do want my husband to lead. Right? My job I do because I enjoy it. I love the people I work for and with. It comes natural to me. I mean, my sales manager makes fun of me all the time. He's like, you don't even try in your booking loans. But it's the people around me. I have a lot of real estate investors, agents, people that refer me business. So I'm not out there grinding to get business. It feels so natural to be a mortgage lender. But it allows me a lot of time to do other things. And
so it's almost, I mean, you're an employee, but you're not. You're like a 1099 person. Yeah. So you're an independent contractor that calls your own schedules.
Yep.
And so it's, well, I think that from a growth perspective, a challenging yourself in a lot of different levels perspective, I really think it's amazing. I also totally am about mom being connected with everything the kids are doing because, hey, they came out of you. Yeah. You're more connected than anyone will ever be with them, and therefore that connection has got to be a huge priority as well. But letting go of your professional aspirations and things, I see a lot of people that feel like that now the kids are grown up, now what? They've never developed that side of their life. And so I think that this is really something.
Maybe it's my way of having my cake and eating it too, because once the kids are gone, I know I can dive all the way in. I mean, trust me, I have these I actually just had lunch with my sales manager because I was so frustrated because I see numbers on the books and sometimes I'm not meeting those numbers and I get mad at myself. And he said, once you open that Pandora's box, it's hard to close it, right? He's like, you can do it, but not right now because your priority.
He's really a wise person. Because you're right. You can turn up the volume, but now you got to deal with the volume. Right. And so you're managing a lot, but there's a certain rhythm and balance to it.
Yes.
Tell me how that plays in the family role. How do you and Jason work out time together, time tandeming with kids or together with kids? What are some of the non-negotiables within your structure for you and how you guys operate?
Non-negotiable, we have to have dinner together every night. Unless, work trip or some type when we're out of town or whatnot. But it's rare that we're not sitting at the dinner table together.
Kids included. Everybody
kids included.
Yep.
And my mom lives with us. So,
right.
It's always a table full of 5 with the dogs begging on the side. But, it's a non-negotiable. We go to every game, every practice if we can. Sometimes we have to, divide and conquer because they have games and practices in different fields at the same time. I mean, right now it's a busy season, spring sports. But, a lot of times that's a non-negotiable. We work out together, right? That's our time together.
Really?
It's hard. I know it's a big thing. You have to date each other, but we go on dates at the gym. Like we go to the gym together. We work out together. We have a blast when we work out together. I'm making fun of his weights. If I think it's too light. It's our time together, just the two of us.
And okay, tell me more about that. You drive to a gym. Do you have a typical time of day you do this?
We go to Orange Theory and we go at 5 a.m. So we both get up at 4 and we head to the gym.
Okay. I want you to say that again. Everybody, that is 4 a.m. She gets up to be at a gym with your husband at 5.
Yes.
The kids are still asleep. The dog's watching them.
Yes.
Right.
Well, my mom's.
I know, your mom's, right. I'm being facetious. But you're back by 6:30?
6:15-ish. And if I'm going to go see, I don't know, like Katie and V, power players, we do lunch. We have like a standing lunch all the time. And if I know that that's coming or if I'm going to see somebody, I'll usually turn on the oven before I head to the gym. So when I get back, I've got stuff that I'm going to bake ready to go. I'll throw that into the oven, go upstairs, take a shower, come down, take that out of the oven, get the kids ready for school. So every minute.
Now we're getting into it. See, now we're getting into the rhythm of efficiency. Don't go anywhere empty-handed. This can be doing that while I'm doing this. There's some real organization to this.
A lot of multitasking.
But let's go back to up at 4. Okay, now I get that. And even more so, you'd think the older I get, I need more sleep. I can't lay there longer than 6 hours. I get too sore. So, 4 is a good time to get up. But that is a discipline that you do. Do you set an alarm?
Jason's my alarm. He sets the alarm and then he wakes me up.
Is that done?
Yeah. I like being woken up by him rather than a bleep out of my phone. So he'll come and wake me up. Yeah.
Wow. 4 o'clock. What time do you normally get in bed?
Depends on the day, but we're usually in bed by 8:30.
8:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this early to bed, early to rise thing is very literal in the Zwicker household.
Yes. So if you
find that is a common thread among high achievers everywhere you go. I have to insert a story because it blew my mind. You can look this lady up. I think it's Anne Louise is her name. And you can look her up because she's written more books on nutrition and wellness than anybody. Truly, just that's all you would need to know to Google her. She has a beautiful home in Post Falls, Idaho, on the river. Beautiful home. And here's this summer party, and there's 200 people there. and it's catered, and there's food everywhere. Beautiful, amazing summer party. And at 10 o'clock, which is barely getting dark on a Saturday night party with 200 people, she comes out on the balcony of her home with the sound system and says, "Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's so great that you all came to my party, and I hope you continue to talk and eat and drink and enjoy the property to the nines. But those of you who know me well know that every night I go to bed at 10 o'clock, and it's 10 minutes to 10, and I'm on my way. So have a nice evening at my house that I'm hosting." And she just, that's it. And when she built the house, stories told that she built it like freaking soundproof and hits the blinds, and that's it. And it's just non-negotiable for her health regime, because she's up so early. That's when I go to bed. No matter what, I could have 200 people in my house. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And I remember like having to sit there and like, I was kind of in conflict, but then I went, wow, I love this woman. She's playing her own game. You adjust to me, I'm not going to adjust to you. You adjust to me. And I really respected it as I thought about it. Disciplines are disciplines, but that's very unusual that you're in bed at 8:30 or 9. It's explainable when you're up at 4, but still very unusual for someone to be that disciplined to do that. Yeah.
It's part of giving Jason and I sanity, right? There's not a lot of quiet time in our household, right? Our daughters are 12 and 10.
Yeah.
There's always something. We have 2 dogs, a cat. My mom lives with us. There is rarely a moment of silence.
Right.
But even if we don't go to the gym, if we're up at 4, from 4 to about 6:30, there's not a lot happening.
Right.
People are asleep.
Yeah.
The phone's not ringing.
Right.
Emails aren't coming in. The dogs don't need to eat yet. So it's necessary for our sanity when everything's so busy. But yeah, I mean, if you have an event and I'm there at 10:30, you know you are very high on the priority list of like friends, because I'm not sleeping. I'm actually attending your event. So it's a big deal.
Right. We saw you the other evening at Katie's dance, another Katie's dance, and it was very special that you were there too. Okay, so we've covered a little bit that you are a mortgage lender. Your husband is also a lender in the world of builder and construction financing. But the two of you also are real estate entrepreneurs and investors. And so you're on the hunt looking for and buying assets for the long haul, managing those assets, part of some big projects that are well known, at least in the power player community, that you've got going. Talk to me about how the two of you, what is your role in all of that, Francie? Because that could be a full-time job all by itself. What is your role in the engaging of the investment side of what you do?
He's the visionary and I'm the organizer. And that partnership has worked really, really well. I do a lot of the stuff that where he's not good at something, I will pick that up. He's always the face person. I'm not in the meetings. I'm not the one going to walk these properties. I'm not the one picking, tiles or cabinets. I don't do any of those things. But on the back end, payments, taxes, deductions, all the bookkeeping, that's all on me. If there's marketing that needs to be done for a project, I'm working on those. So I'm definitely back office. He's the front salesperson, right? So that's kind of the partnership that we have. He's definitely the visionary, and I'm the support. So that's how that relationship works.
And it takes that. It's never one thing. To be successful at any endeavor, it takes all of that. It takes the back end. You can do everything looking right here, and if this isn't done right, it all falls apart. So it's a team effort. And I love that you've kind of got this awareness of each other's gifts and skills, and you both do your own thing. Kind of you stay out of each other's way a little bit, it sounds like.
Yes.
You've got a huge project going on with some partners over east of the mountains. You have a home east of the mountains. How much time do you spend at a home you built east of the mountains?
Yep.
How much time do you spend there? How much time do you spend here? Is that cabin? Is this home? Is it you split time? Again, another aspect that's a little mysterious about your life. Where are you and what home are you at?
Depends on the kids' schedules, but we try and go over there as much as possible. We're here. This is main home, right? This is
Hold on
where our
one
work
second
is.
with that thought. Okay, thank you. And is our tape, do we need to switch it yet? We're good. Okay, all right. Okay, but let's go back to the two homes. Okay, as much as possible, you're going to be there. But is it? Do you ever commute from there to things over here and then go back over there?
In the summer, because once the kids are out on break, we just go over there and we just stay over there all summer.
Right.
So Jason will come back for different meetings. I'll come back if I need to. But yeah, we do commute. It's a long commute. I mean, Jeff has a plane. If I had one of these, it'd be a lot faster, but I don't know how to fly one of these. So it's a 4-hour drive back and
Get
forth.
a little pilot license. Maybe Jeff will let you use his. And Jeff is one of your neighbors who does have his own little runway.
Yes, he does.
Right there in his yard.
Yep,
Yeah.
and he flies over our house sometimes, and it scares the crap out of me.
That's awesome.
But built that house, and I mean, like I said, I think everything happens for a reason. We found that lot because we knew Jeff, just because he's a real estate person and we're in real estate. We knew of him, didn't know him. He was out there. He had land for sale, bought land. Chris, his friend and neighbor, is a builder. He said, I'll build your house. Built our second home. From there, we're like, oh, we can work together.
Yeah.
Partnered. I mean, it just the way like puzzle pieces fall, right? We just wanted a second home somewhere hot. And
Well, it's hot in the summer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and as a result, we got partners,
Yeah.
business partners,
That's awesome.
and really
Yeah.
fun partners.
Yeah. I think that being open to where things may go.
Yeah.
We've discussed that a little earlier today of just like how one thing does lead to another if you're open, if you're not resistant in life. The answer to what you're doing is sometimes right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And it's a beautiful home, overlooks the Columbia River. Wow. Incredible.
Methau River, and we're on top of a hill, so you get a lot of the birds, and we don't get the lake aspect of it, but that dry, where the icebergs kind of chopped land off, so you see all these ledges. It's our happy place.
Yeah.
Kids love it there. They're outside playing all day,
Yeah.
catching crickets, and
So cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where kids can be kids.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay, I want to go to the right brain side a little bit because this is as mysterious as any. There's outlets for your right brain.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be everything from I want you to discuss them, but what I see from a distance that's extraordinary is it starts with your fashion and your look. It's very, very creative and very detailed and pointed. I'll show you another one. Look at this that you made. I decided right before we did this I was going to show it. Okay. This is no ordinary little box of, I don't even know what's in here yet. I haven't done it, but I know that it is handmade, handcrafted, and signed with like a fine pin of detail. If it's a cookie, it's the greatest cookie anybody's ever seen. I think what I have in here is bread. Is that right?
It's sourdough bread.
Sourdough bread. Not one you just thought you bought and I would like, something you made. But I've seen the videos of you baking, decorating things, like it's a piece of art. I almost don't want to eat it. I want to spray paint it and just look at it. Tell me about the right brain creative side of you. Where in the world, and is that like an outlet for you?
It is.
Okay.
It's meditative for me. It's not work. I know a lot of people don't like to be in the kitchen. They don't want to bake or cook because it's work, right? But I mean, when you do what you love, it's meditative. That's where I go when I need to just step away from everything. I cook or I bake or I create. I knit a lot.
Oh yeah. There's the looms, the rugs, it goes on and on. Did you learn these things from somebody? Did you go to classes?
No, self-taught. My mom taught me the basics of knitting, but there are so many different ways of knitting, all these techniques, cables, and the sky is the limit when it comes to creating fabric from string. And a lot of, I'm that generation where internet is fairly new, right? We were introduced to it. I was introduced to it in high school, and it just became this. We used to have to go to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System to find information. Now it's at our fingertips. And sometimes it blows my mind that people don't just go and learn things because it's literally right here.
Right there, right.
It's right here.
Right.
YouTube, Instagram. You
Right.
can teach yourself to do a lot of things.
Right.
And I'm fascinated by our ability to access those things. So I take full advantage of it. So sourdough, I taught myself. Just watching videos, trial and error. Knitting, my mom taught me the basics, and then I taught myself how to do everything else, like reading the patterns, right? And just, I get obsessive when it comes to the creative stuff. I think I just went through this whole phase of trying to make pasta. And it's a whole world, right? Like pasta making is a whole another world. And Jason was like, we're going to get fat. Because all I was doing was making pasta.
Try this. See how this one is.
I made pasta every day for, I think, a month straight. And all of my neighbors got pasta. And I'm like, is it weird to give pasta, fresh pasta? Like, eat it today. Don't eat it, don't wait. But yeah, I'm fascinated by our access to information now. And I try and take full advantage of it.
Okay, but it's not just the taking in the information. It's then, now I have to do what I've learned. I'm going to, this is my test lab. I'm going to do it. Then you perfect it. And now you've got that down in your repertoire of things you do often for other people too. Yes. This isn't the first amazing creation I've received. and it's like your gift. But what's interesting to me about that is that it's a gift that you give, but the genesis of that gift is your own desire to learn and grow and experiment and create. And then we get to be the benefactor of that nature. Can you create that nature? I dig down. Why isn't it, like you just said, why isn't everybody like that? Why isn't everybody wanting to learn? And you're right. You could Google anything you want to know, and there's a video that'll walk you through it, multiple videos, different styles and ways. How do you create that in your kids? How do you create that more around you?
I try everything. Mm-hmm. I may not be good at it by the end of it, but I try everything. Mm-hmm. And my kids don't get to not try something. Mm-hmm. You have to try it. Mm-hmm. And you have to try really hard at it. And if you really still suck at it, then okay, we will say this is not your gift. Mm-hmm. But we try it. And that could be an activity or a food or a destination or anything. Anything. Try it. Try it. Say yes. And then you know. Yep. If you don't go, you won't know. Got it. Yeah. But you have that in spades. Okay. But you take things to a gifted level,
right? Your baking, for example, your fashion, you get really tucked in on it and you take it to a really high level of expertise. Or is that your opinion, or is that just the way it all looks?
I'm always so flattered when it's perceived that way, because I don't think it's perfect. I just do what I love. I get a lot of comments on my hair, right? I just like this look. It's a lot of work, but I like it. So that's what I do. And people are like, oh, I could never. Well, a lot of women are like, I could never cut my hair that short. Try it. Like, try it.
You could, actually. You just aren't willing to.
Yeah, you could. You could do anything. Yeah. I tried it and I liked it. I like myself with short hair better than long hair. But if you never cut it, you won't know. Try it. I mean, that's kind of where I am with everything. Just try it.
It's they say the number one trait, and there's been many studies done about entrepreneurs, and the number one common thread among entrepreneurs when studied is their character trait of curiosity. They just have to figure it out. They have to dig in and understand it. They're not satisfied with, well, that's just the way it is. Why? How? How does this work? And I can see that played out in who you are. I really can. Influences in your life, young, current, old, books, podcasts you listen to. What do you put in your brain? What's been influential to you?
I don't have like fancy people as inspirations. I think I draw a lot of my inspiration from people that are around me. And I truly believe my gift, God gave me the gift of surrounding me with incredible people that are just excellent at one or two or three things or everything, whatever it is. And I can draw something from that person, right? We talked about, finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Everybody has something to offer if you're willing to look. And I'm always just floored when I look at my friends, colleagues, managers, whoever it is, just people around me. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I don't need the Tony Robbins of the world to inspire me, right? I just look at people around me and what they're doing and their passions. Are any of us perfect? No, but they're all doing something incredible. And I just draw a lot of inspiration. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I have never read a single self-help book or like a business book. It's not by design. It's not like, oh, I will never read that. That's not what happened. It's not what attracts me. I don't want to spend time doing that because all those lessons I feel like I can learn talking to people instead of sitting down and reading a book. I listen to a lot of podcasts about life, people's passions, people's stories. Yeah, I'm not a big listen to this book. It'll change how you do business. Listen to this book. It'll change how you talk to clients. I'm not that person. I know maybe it's a bad thing, but I don't know. It's
back to the doing. See, the doing of it versus just the learning of it. I would argue that the kinesthetic activity is where you learn the most. You learn the most by diving in and doing. That's when it's real. I can tell you in the world of even elements of deal structure that you work with people and you can talk all day long about a substitution of security clause. You don't know it until you've done it, until you've moved the cloud and you go, oh,
yeah,
whoa. The debt isn't on here now. It's on here. Huh.
And it worked.
Now it got real. Now it got real. You could hear about it all day long, and it's just not real until you walk. Then you sell the property that the debt used to be on. You walk out with a big check and go, now it really got real.
Yep.
Right? Huh. Wow. So I think the doing of it is how it becomes us. I think that when things go in your head, if it's not played out in the doing, it's not you yet.
Yes.
When it's you is when you've incorporated it into your doing.
And then once you've done it, to share it. Right?
Well, and sharing that gift is what you do. And I just feel that everywhere. I bring this up because I know all of you pretty well. There's a group of you from Power Players that have become great friends. Mm-hmm. And we're speaking of you, Katie, V, for example. Mm-hmm. There's more, but you're hanging with extraordinary. But of course, it should have occurred to you too that they say the same thing. They're hanging with you because you're a bar that they're reaching for too. And I think that greatness brings greatness. So when you say you're surrounding yourself with people, well, it's a mutual appreciation where swords are sharpening swords. Ideas are inflicting better and upward moving ideas in the other person. What your disciplines become challenge other people and vice versa. And so that community you're around can really snowball into greater and greater all the time. And I know both those women really well, and so do you. And it's awesome to watch you know each other and support each other and be at each other's things and celebrate each other.
It's hard for me to see me as extraordinary, but I know I'm doing something right that extraordinary people want to be around me.
Right.
Right? Unless I'm just there to make them feel better about themselves, I know I have another purpose.
Right. Okay, here's a question that could be left or right brain. I'm not sure which, but it's definitely left arm. So tell me about your tattoo. Because tattoos can be very, very personal and storytelling all by themselves. I don't know that it is, but I want to know.
It is. So this is a tuberose around my wrist, and my mom actually drew this, and I just had a tattoo artist put it on me. This is a magnolia flower, which is my favorite flower. It blooms and is only beautiful for a day. And then it turns brown and ugly and just falls off. But it takes forever to bloom. And once it blooms, the fragrance you cannot replicate it. I've tried to find perfumes that smell like it. It smells terrible. Nothing like a magnolia flower smell. So it's I love, again, this obsession with death, right?
Yes.
It reminds me of how short life is and how once it blooms, that fragrance and the beauty is so short-lived and then it's gone. But I still yearn for it. Right? It's something that I look forward to every summer. I have this beautiful magnolia tree in my backyard. So it's my favorite flower. The snake, I'm a Chinese astrological snake sign. And when...
Is that by your birth date?
By year.
By year, birth year. Okay.
By birth year. And a lot of the characteristics of a snake, I do really believe I embody. I mean, that's a whole book on different characteristics. But I was born in the year of the snake. My older daughter was born in the year of the snake. I can see all the traits, kind of like what they say about Capricorns. I'm also a Capricorn. The two align pretty well. So that's why I have a snake. I also think it's very misunderstood. Snakes are very misunderstood. So that's why the snake's on here. This is a peony. And my godmom was one of my creative inspirations. Again, immigrant family, lawyer, doctor, dentist, do something not creative, do something that's going to generate...
Don't be an English major.
Yeah. Very, how are you going to make money, right? That's always the question.
Right.
My godmom was a hairdresser. We lost her 2 years ago to cancer. She was a wild spirit. And she was Chinese American, also going against the grain of everything that she's ever been taught. And she taught me how to actually bake. My mom is not a baker. She's a cook, but she's not a baker. She taught me how to bake. But lost her, got her favorite flower tattooed on me while she was sick. And then she always said she loved, everything she had was butterflies. She loved the colorful butterflies. So after she passed, I put a butterfly on the stem of the peony. And then these are name stamps of my parents. So that's my dad's name stamp. In Korea and a lot of Asian countries, instead of signatures, they have a hand-carved stamp that they do legal documents with.
Oh, wow.
So you actually have to keep it very
Every
safe.
single person has their own stamp?
And it's all hand-carved, so
wow.
it can't be replicated.
Oh, wow.
So that's my dad's stamp. That's my mom's stamp. And I just put the two there. So that's...
I don't have a tattoo, but I'm from almost like a credo perspective. I love digging into like, what is you in a concise description? And I've found that for people of meaning, there's always the one-off drunken tattoo that they don't remember, but most of the time they're really well thought out. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. That's awesome. Francie, I have a question that is a kind of you said fascinated in a sense with death. You think about it a lot. I used to give an assignment out when I taught at the university, and I would get kids' attention by saying, by the way, half your grade depends on this paper, so take me seriously. Boy, that got their attention because everybody wants to get a good grade. And I said, it's a page, a paper at least 5 pages long, typewritten. Don't make me work at reading it. And here, it's simple as this. You are able to be a witness to your own memorial service. Somehow you're there watching, but that's you. That's you in the box. The question is, who's going to be there and what are they going to say? That's your paper. Write it. I have literally boxes of those papers right here on a rack somewhere. I've never thrown one away. And as you think about that flower that is blooming now, and in all of its glory and all of its creativity and all of its life, but there is an end on this earth. We've just went to a memorial service this last week with one of our own's mother, our community, Lenny's mother. There's an end. Your father passing away really young. There's an end to here. When you think about that, what is it that you want to leave? What is it that people are going to say about you on this planet and your interaction with people? What are you going to leave?
I'm sure you have one of these. I feel like everybody has one of these. You know that dish that your grandmother made that no one else can ever make the same? That flavor, that texture, that fragrance, like no one can make that like grandma did. I wish once I'm gone, that's what I leave with people around me. And it doesn't have to be something I made you for food, right? Just my presence. That's how I feel about my godmom, right? She can't ever be replaced. And I'm not saying people just can be replaced, but that lingering, it will never be the same. In what, it could be a dish. I wouldn't be offended, right? If somebody says, no one will ever make sourdough like Francie, I'll take that. I'll take it.
Right.
But that's what I hope to leave. It's not a, grandiose legacy. It'll never be the same.
But that feeling of the way you've affected people, that it lingers.
Yes.
I like that. Every time I look at a picture of A.B. label up there at the top of the stairs on the left. I see it every day. There's no one I'll ever know that was like him. The way he made you feel, the way he leaned in, the softness of his voice. I don't know. I think that being aware of that, we reverse engineer everything in life, right?
Yeah.
Or perhaps we should.
We should.
That we can have control of that end by leaning into that, by being that. And you're doing that. That's the word on the street. You're making a mark, a big mark. And in this community of power players, it's a big, big community. But when people really are leaning in and connecting with people, it's a community that draws quickly to that. They notice that. And so I have huge appreciation for the impact that you've made. And you're hanging, like I said, with a group of women that are all doing the same thing. I'm going to get the privilege of having V as a TA here pretty quick. And I just, what is she? Is she even 5 foot? She's one of the most powerful women I know. And to just see her energy and, it's the presence that you have that makes that difference. So way to go. Amazing. I have loved getting to unravel some of this. Thank you for letting me do that. How do people connect with you? And be careful, because they will. So you might want to really think about this one. I should have is this even a question that I put on there? Because I like to make it something that people do, but at the same time, I want to warn you that people will contact you. So how best can they contact you to talk to you about this podcast and connect with you?
I have a website.
A website,
yeah,
perfect.
And it's more for loans, but it's a way to get a hold of me.
Okay, good.
Francie-Zwicker.com. Or you can just go to Instagram. There aren't a lot of Francie Zwickers in the world, so I'll pop right up.
And I'll spell your last name Zwicker.
That's right.
Right. So Francie, and you that is your official first name. It's not like a fun name, right?
It's a Francesca. It's Francesca, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything I've ever seen, it's Francie. Printed, everything.
Yep.
Okay. Francie, Zwicker.
Can we go back to the beginning of the contact info without the plane?
Absolutely. Okay. We'll just start. Okay. So Francie, tell me how you would like people to get a hold of you. What is the very, very best way they could do that?
If you want a mortgage or just talk about mortgage scenarios, you can go to my website, francie-zwicker.com. If you want to find out about sourdough and what I make in the kitchen, my Instagram has everything. And you can just look for Francie-Zwicker on Instagram.
And I want to spell your last name for everybody because it's a little tricky. Zwicker. Okay. And there's a dash, Francie-Zwicker on Instagram. And I there's a way on Instagram, I think you can like follow someone.
Yep.
Okay. And I don't follow hardly anybody, but I follow you because I just love seeing what you're creating next. And there's a lot of them in the kitchen, but it's not just the kitchen. It's like I said, I remember one of like a loom rug thing. You're going, oh my God, what else do you do?
I just got a miter saw, so that was a whole other thing too.
Right, a miter saw. Of course you did, right? Of course you did.
And some nail gun. I just wanted to play around
guns.
with.
Why not? Let's try these little tools out for a while. What are you creating with that? Like picture frames and things?
I did that, and then I looked around the house, and I wanted to add what are those? The kickboard around the kitchen.
Oh yeah, the baseboards.
Yeah,
right?
the baseboards. I wanted to add more to it to give it more height, so I went ahead and did that. So Jason's like, please don't lose a finger.
So, women, if you are looking for something new to do, you might want to just take off those old baseboards, get yourself a miter saw and a nail gun, and create some new molding in your kitchen.
I think there was a power
maybe you
player.
want to do that this weekend.
Yeah, a power player commented on that miter saw video there goes Francie doing some epic shit again.
Epic shit again. Yeah, it's like the next thing you know, you're going to be underneath a car putting in a transmission just see if you could do it. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It's you're amazing.
Or fly a plane.
Okay, well, they will be contacting you. I know they will. And again, thank you for making your way out here. This is not on the way to anything. Not even your cabin is there. Your other house is this on the way to. So thank you for being here. Many, many moments ahead. God bless you. Thank you for watching another amazing podcast. And if I can ever be of help, you've got my number directly, 206-226-7777. Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks so much.